In this video, I'd like to share how I discovered the Ankh, because the Ankh has really made a big change in my life in a lot of ways. And I would like to share it with you because I think it's something that's a really powerful tool that can help you with your own healing journey. It can really help you on your own spiritual path and to discover yourself, to feel better. So that's why this video. Several years ago, I had a spiritual awakening in the forest, and that opened everything up to me. And it really started a journey of, let's say, discovery into spiritual practices, and it led me to the Ankh as well. So what happened was, at that time, I was really interested in trying out, different ceremonies. I went to different gatherings, and I remember signing up for a new moon ceremony. And a part of that new moon ceremony was a personal healing with an ankh like this one. And the healing was 10 to 15 minutes for each person there. And I remember I did not really know what an ankh was. To be honest, I'd seen it somewhere. I knew the symbol, but I didn't really know much about it. So I remember I was getting into meditation a lot at that time. I was meditating a lot every day, and I started to realize what meditation could do for you and the depths that it can take you to more and more. And what I realized at the time was that when I tried to add some breath work, my breathing was really shallow. So every time I tried to breathe, I noticed I was like, and my breath was blocked there. But when I went to this healing, I didn't really think of that or anything. I just remember the healer invited me in. She invited me to lie down, and I did. And she just started doing things in my aura with the Ankh. So I kind of peeked through my eyelids a little bit, and I just saw her moving the Ankh around me. And within, I think, maybe a minute or two, I suddenly felt there was this huge, huge boulder uh, put onto my chest almost. And at the same time, it felt as if a huge boulder was pulled away from my chest. So it was a really strange sensation. I still remember it really well because it was so weird. And it was just, it pulled out all these emotions at once. And I just started crying. So there was so much emotion stuck around my heart space that I didn't really consciously were aware of in a moment, but it all came out. And so much sadness just was released all of a sudden. And I think after about 15 minutes, when I finally stopped crying, I felt that I could breathe again. And this whole band of just tightness or sadness that was there was just gone. It was released. And so right after that, I realized I have to learn how to work with this Ankh. And I started looking into ways where I could learn to do that and how it worked. And I started to look for information about the Ankh. So my journey actually started with learning about Reiki. So if you're familiar with energy healing, you probably have heard of Reiki. It's kind of the most, I would say, the most commonly known form of energy healing there is. So with Reiki, you send universal life force energy through your hands to help you clear blocks in your system and to optimize your energy flow. So when I started to follow some courses in Reiki, I really found out what was possible with energy healing and how it could really help me uplift my mood by clearing blocks, and it could really help me to become more conscious of where I had blocks in my system and how I could clear them. I started practicing that for myself at home. So every day I took some time to do some Reiki because you can give that energy to yourself. And I just felt how it changed things within me, how it lifted certain blocks on some days. And I didn't know that I felt sad. I sat down, I did some Reiki, and suddenly the heaviness was lifted off of me. And I thought, oh, that's all it took. Actually, by sitting down, giving yourself that energy healing, you can actually take away that sadness within minutes. What I also learned during those times is that it was possible, or how it was possible for me to feel where other people had blocks in their system, and also how it was possible to send healing over, or send life force energy over a distance, over any distance, which at first, by the way, I was a bit skeptical about. But then by actually practicing it and someone sending me that energy, I immediately felt when it started, when it stopped, I felt the energy flowing through me. And I thought, I know this is possible and this is really amazing. But that's what Reiki told me. And then the next step for me was to learn to work with the Ankh. And the Ankh is also a form of energy healing. But in this case, you'll transfer the energy through the Ankh. So the Ankh is kind of in the middle. So where the Ankh really helps is to give an extra impulse to that energy. So it amplifies the energy, you can say, It can also sometimes, when I use Reiki, for example, sometimes I feel the situation or the moment requires just Reiki, and sometimes I really feel it requires the Ankh. And sometimes when I cannot get through it with the Reiki energy, the Ankh can help me to do that. And other times it's the other way around. So there's not one that's better than the other. It's just different. It's a different energy. But the Ankh can really give that extra impulse to uh, your healing. And it's something we can always keep developing. So also when you wonder if you are able to sense these things, I believe to some extent everybody can develop this. So can you. So just keep an open mind, start your journey and just start to experience what's possible and be patient with the process. And you might really be surprised of what is possible. And also to strengthen that intuitive connection, having a physical Ankh can actually really help you to connect with it. So you can also work with the Ankh in a visualized way, which is also amazing. But having a physical Ankh can really be a bridge of making it more easy or making it more powerful, even in some way. It's just a different way of working with the energy. And I really recommend it. If you would like to know more about the Ankh, then you can check out my other videos. I also have a free Ankh introduction guide that you can download. I leave the link in the description, so feel free to check it out. It also has some information on where you can find a physical Ankh. And if you have other experiences with the Ankh or you'd like to share your experience, then please do in the comments. I'm always super interested in hearing your experiences. And if you have any questions, also let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you in the next video.